Let's take a moment here to talk about aiming a recurve bow because there's some fine details here that many people may have overlooked. As a coach, I know that it's not fair to assume that everybody automatically understands anything, particularly working with beginners. I know that unless I say it, I can't assume they know it. Most beginners want to start by aiming with just one eye. They close the other eye and aim with just that one eye. This is their first mistake. The advantages of using both eyes are so enormous that I would say virtually every top shooter keeps both eyes open, but that would be misleading. The fact is, it's not virtually every top-level shooter. It is actually every top-level shooter, every mid-level shooter, every target shooter with any appreciable experience, from every country, every national team. They all keep both eyes open. There is no qualified coach in the world who does not teach this. Keeping both eyes open gives the archer more information. It helps the archer keep his posture. It helps the archer keep the bow vertical. In dim lighting, it helps the archer to see better. It avoids the bleary-eyed vision caused by constantly opening and closing one eye. It really is easier to aim, and ultimately, it will be much more comfortable. It's important to emphasize not to start aiming until after the anchor. Focus on getting your body into position before you start focusing on your aim. So now let's take a look at the target and sight pin and see what the archer actually sees. Here is a target. Most coaches will start a new recurve archer without a sight, so this is what they see. When we bring in the sight pin, this is what most people think they see. Or maybe for a beginner, it looks more like this. But all kidding aside, this is what most people think they are looking at. Let's talk about focus. If the archer focuses correctly on the target, then the target will remain in clear focus and the pin will get a little blurry. And if the archer focuses incorrectly on the pin will be in clear focus and the target will be a little blurry. Of course, those archers who focus on the pin are in for a surprise when they open that second eye, since they will see two targets. I've met some archers who went on this way. They didn't know it was wrong. No one had ever said anything to them, and everyone just assumed they knew it was wrong and corrected it. When an archer focuses correctly on the target, the two targets will clear up and merge, but there will be two sight pins. With a little experimentation, the archer can easily learn which pin to use and put that on the target. But this isn't usually a problem because the riser's in the way, and it handily blocks out one of the sight pins. Archers will do quite well with this, but they will have a bit of lateral variations. Then I ask where they're aligning the string. This brings the universal answer: I don't know. Oddly, this big blurry string is right in front of their face and the archers don't even notice it. It shows the power of the mind to ignore what it doesn't want to deal with. But they have to deal with it. They can't just let it move around with each shot. Most coaches have the archer move the string in their vision to one of two positions: beside the sight pin, or, as I prefer, to the riser. The initial choice of where to align it is not that important. What is important is that the string alignment be consistent. This is critical, and it will start to tighten up those lateral variations. Now let's talk about some of those details and how they affect the aim. Let's start with the string. Once an archer has picked the location to align the string, it must be consistent. Moving that string alignment to the right will move the arrows to the left. And conversely, moving the string alignment to the left will move the arrows to the right. It's critical, therefore, but it's also useful. If the archer practices using it and calibrates himself, he can use it as a technique to aim off. As a barebow archer, I use it as a method for adjusting my right and left sight. A beginner shouldn't use this, but it is an advanced technique that can be helpful if it is used correctly. Sometimes the sunlight can play tricks on us and make us move the string unknowingly. Look at how the sunlight on different sides of the string can make the string seem to move without it actually moving at all. If the archer adjusts the string to compensate for this apparent movement, it will cause lateral movement in his shots. At an outdoor tournament, the apparent string will move throughout the day with the sun. At an indoor tournament, standing on one side of an overhead light or the other could light up the string differently and cause the archer to aim differently. Similar lighting effects can take place on the sight pin. Be careful about this illusion. If you understand it, you can be prepared for it and know how to correct for it. Now let's talk about how to bring that sight pin onto the target. Experienced archers always do it the same way every shot. Some start above and come down to the target, others start below and come up to the target. But they always do it the same way every time. Now let's look at that sight pin with both eyes. Before I do, I'm going to close one eye and point my finger at a target. In fact, I'm going to put my finger right on the target. But as my finger moves around a little, I'm not really sure exactly if I'm centered on it or not. Let me open both eyes. Now I can see exactly where my finger is on it. I can see both the finger and the target. Now let's see how this looks with a sight pin. The same thing is also true with the sight pin, although to a lesser but still significant effect. When you can see both the pin and the target, you have a better picture of where you are. Hopefully now you better understand some of the factors that go into aiming. Nothing is as easy as it seems. If you think beyond the obvious, you'll figure out many other factors too. Understanding these factors will help you gain a better appreciation for your sport and make you a far better archer.